Hi, my name is Yazan Ibrahim, also known as Yazan Abu Ghosh. Today we will take about Part B Execution 1.6 Audit Project Management. When you think of auditing, you might imagine a meticulous process full of calculations, checklists, and evaluations, and you wouldn't be far off. But IS auditing information systems, adds another layer of complexity. It dives into technology, IT controls, risks, and processes to ensure businesses function securely, efficiently, and within regulations. So, what does the journey of an IS audit look like? That's what we're here to explore. Let's start with the foundation, execution. Once the plan for an audit has been carefully crafted and the objectives are laid out, the stage is set to bring it all to life. But this isn't a simple checklist you tick off one by one. Conducting an IS audit is a carefully orchestrated process with many moving parts. It's about ensuring not only that individual tasks are completed, but also that the audit's overall goals are met and delivered in a way that's meaningful to the organization. The core of audit project management. First things first, like any successful project, proper management is essential. The process begins with adequate planning, which serves as the backbone of any effective IS audit. Imagine being tasked with evaluating a massive IT system. Without a plan, you'd quickly become overwhelmed. Planning ensures that valuable audit resources, like people, tools, and time, are used wisely. At its core, audit management revolves around assessing risks. An organization must decide what parts of their system or processes to prioritize based on how much risk they pose. Once those priorities are set, the audit team develops a robust program outlining objectives and the specific steps or tests to achieve those objectives. These aren't just random tasks. Every procedure is tied directly to what the audit hopes to achieve. As you might expect, this involves a clear structure. The IS auditor gathers evidence to investigate the strengths and weaknesses of controls within the organization. Controls, whether automated or manual, are the mechanisms that organizations rely on to ensure compliance, data accuracy, and protection from risk. If something's not working as it should, it's up to the IS auditor to bring it to leadership's attention, along with specific recommendations to fix it. Breaking down the process. Executing the audit is like navigating a roadmap. It's a multi-step process, and each piece plays a critical role in contributing to the final results. Broadly speaking, this process involves defining the audit's scope, setting objectives, gathering and reviewing evidence, forming conclusions, and finally reporting the findings. But these steps aren't isolated. They flow into one another as part of a larger narrative. Let's break this process into bite-sized steps. 1. The audit scope and objectives. This is where we answer foundational questions. What exactly are we auditing? Why are we auditing it? And what do we hope to find or achieve? Think of the scope as drawing a boundary line around the audit. It defines what parts of the system, function, or process to review. For instance, the scope might include assessing an organization's IT infrastructure for a particular application, or checking to ensure that certain regulatory requirements are being followed. A narrow, vague, or poorly defined scope can spell disaster for an audit, making it difficult to focus or gather meaningful results. 2. Developing the audit plan. Here's where things get detailed. The audit plan is really a blueprint, laying out tasks and timelines. At this stage, auditors estimate how much time each task will take, determine how much manpower is needed, and ensure everything fits within the overall schedule. It's not just about hitting deadlines, it's about being realistic. This phase also identifies the skills and resources required, whether that's technical expertise, a specific software tool, or simply good communication with stakeholders. 3. Gathering evidence and testing controls. As the audit gets underway, evidence collection is key. This involves reviewing documentation, running tests, auditing logs or databases, and even interviewing people. The IS auditor evaluates both general controls, like access permissions for employees, and application-specific controls, like mechanisms ensuring data validity in a payroll system. Each test provides a snapshot of whether the company's controls are functioning as intended. 4. Monitoring progress. During the audit, it's critical to stay on top of how things are tracking. Simply moving from task to task without oversight can lead to delays or missed objectives. So, audit teams constantly evaluate their progress against the original plan, keeping stakeholders updated and adjusting course when challenges arise. 5. Compiling results and reporting to management. Finally, all the findings from the audit are summarized in a concise yet detailed report. This report doesn't just list problems, it should explain why the issues matter and how to fix them. Communication is key here. The results must be presented clearly to ensure management understands what's at stake and can take informed action. Setting objectives, the heart of the audit. At the heart of any effective IS audit lies its objectives, the why behind the process. These guide every action and decision. For instance, one common objective is to confirm that internal controls work as intended. Are sensitive systems secure? Is there sufficient protection against data breaches? Are transactions recorded accurately? Objectives might also involve checking for compliance with relevant regulations or ensuring that IT resources are available and reliable. Sometimes, audit objectives draw a line between control assessments and testing. For instance, in a financial audit, one goal might be to confirm that expenses are recorded properly. But in an IS audit, the goal might also include auditing the IT systems responsible for those financial records, doing deeper dives to validate that errors get caught automatically, or security mechanisms prevent unauthorized access. The IS auditor doesn't just observe, they evaluate and verify. Success depends on translating overarching audit goals into precise evaluation criteria. And from there, they identify the critical key control points, the crux of the system's effectiveness or risk. The phases of an audit. An IS audit unfolds in structured phases that ensure no detail is overlooked. These include determining the subject and scope, performing pre-audit planning, gathering data, executing audit procedures, and finally wrapping it all up in a detailed report. The process can be as broad or as granular as needed, catering to the specific challenges or risks presented by the organization. But let's not forget something crucial. Every task from start to finish has to be documented thoroughly. This is where audit work papers come into play. They form the audit's backbone by connecting plans, activities, and findings into one seamless narrative, ensuring traceability and accountability along the way. Fraud and irregularities, eyes wide open. And here's an important point. Auditing isn't always about routine checks. It's also about vigilance. With technology driving businesses, fraud has become more sophisticated. IS auditors must keep their eyes open for irregularities and fraud indicators, such as bypassed controls or unusual patterns in system behavior. Preventing fraud requires a mix of technical know-how and a sharp understanding of vulnerabilities. And while the primary responsibility for fraud prevention lies with management, IS auditors play a crucial role in detecting red flags and escalating issues before they spiral out of control. Thank you for watching, and as always, continue learning, stay curious, and we'll see you next video.